Previously on Ratarossa, with the BBi heading into the spray booth, we had some awkward manoeuvres trying to get the car across the shop. Today, I'm going to start to rectify that issue, alongside a whole host of other mini restorations we're doing on the car, including some very scary and expensive light units, that and much more, all coming in today's video. But first of all, I've got to say a massive thanks to all of your help and all of your comments on the previous video regarding a couple of issues I had. First of all, the rust issue. So this was the top product you all recommended, Rust. There was a lot of others, but this one by far was recommended by most of you. So I've got 5 litres of that, and well, we're going to put that to some good use on some other parts of the car. There's not too many, thankfully, but this is something that is very handy to keep in the garage for when, well, let's put it this way, I have other Ferraris that are going to need some of this. Anyway, thank you very much for that. We have got some more coming up in this video that I need your help with a little later on. Anyway, let's crack on with some business. One of the next jobs I want to do on the car is this, the steering rack. It's actually one I want to do quite quickly because it enables me to move the car around the shop so we can get around it. But I've got a few new bits. So 2 bearings that are extremely expensive that go in here. They were about £30 each and I couldn't find any alternative. So one sits here, one sits down there. Now in order to get this one out right down in there, I have to remove the rack. Now I can't figure out how to do it. So if anyone knows how you get these ends off, it looks like there's some kind of pin. Now it's either here, but maybe here. We've got one little hole there, one mark there, one there, and that's it. So one of these two, I think, maybe contains a pin that I'm going to probably have to drill out. Once I've done that, I can refurb this, get it in the car, and steer the thing around.
Yeah, I can't see.
I'll put them out.
Go behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. Everyone remembers Pat. Pat saved me on the Stradale Spider with the start button that took me 3 weeks to figure out what took him 10 minutes. Yeah. Pat is going to get the honours of doing the red button. Hit it! Yeah! He's the man. He's now going to fix my steering rack for me. We're both having a bit of a dilemma. We're trying to figure out which one of these is the correct one that's got a pin in it. Strange one. No, it is kinda. So we've drilled the pin as far down as I was comfortable going, and then I've started to just gently knock this collar around, and the pin is coming out. So that is our pin. And this collar, we'll knock that round again. So that was the tricky bit, the bit that I couldn't work out. We had the 3 holes in there and I wasn't sure which one contained the pin holding it in place. Anyway, we got lucky, process of elimination, figured it out. So, collar's off. The reason we wanted to do that is to be able to get this rack out. Once it's beyond this point, we can get the bearing out down here. That was the one that was held in place because of the rack. I could also clean up all the rack, and we're going to get a few new little parts to put this back together. Now, one recommendation I would really like from you guys is the type of grease to use in this steering rack. Again, there's not much in the way of documentation online. I guess this is just a steering rack, so I believe it's a graphite grease. Anyone's got any good recommendations on what type of grease or brand of grease to use on this, drop them down there in the comments below. We've now finished stripping apart the steering rack and we've refurbished it and it's come out absolutely fantastic. Check this out. This is going to be better than new when it's done. We've also cleaned up the inside and I've even put a scope down there just to check if there's any damage to the shaft. It's clean as a whistle in there, which is what you would expect for such a low mileage car. And same thing with the steering rack here. There's no wear on that at all. We've just given it a good old clean up. So very happy with that. That's all going to go back together. We did take those two bearings out. So this was the top one that sits right in there, and that is not too bad. It's a tiny, I can feel a tiny bit of notchiness in that one, but that is not the same story with the one that came out from down here at the bottom. That is in this, and that is, as you can see, in various parts. That's because it disintegrated when it came out, and it was really pretty much seized solid. So it's good we got the two brand new ones to go in there. Now I need your advice on a couple of other bits on this. First of all, these plastic little cups that come out from here sit in the end of the rack and sit on the end of the little ball there. Now these look totally fine, to be fair, just a bit of grease on them, but there's no wear on those at all. However, I'd like your opinion, should I try to replace these? And I say try for another reason I'll tell you about in a second. So this is the pin that came out, and that sits in the shaft right there. Now, the issue I've got with this is I can't find these pins. There's various little bits you can get for the 512 BBi steering rack, but not a lot. This is about the extent of it. So they don't list these. They do, however, have various parts for the 308. Now it looks very similar, but if anyone knows where I can get one of these, tiny little pin, and the other thing is this little rubber bush which sits over in here, and that protects the shaft that comes out from the steering rack. So I kind of probably would like to replace that as well. It doesn't again look too worn, but we've gone to this extent, let's go the whole hog. The other thing to point out here is the collar that came off the steering rack. We had to go a little bit Neanderthal and use a punch to get that off. We did try and use the correct C-clamp here with this little round notch on it, but this one was just a bit too big, so I've got another one on order to help me put this back together, which is why I haven't taken this end off just yet. So if you guys have got any suggestions on these bits, that would be fantastic. We've got the clamps to go on for our boots. That's cool. These are the more expensive ones, which are the original ones that if this got judged as a concourse car, they would look for things like this. The other crazy thing with this, which I can't quite understand, is the actual rubber boots. Now when we took this apart, one was a long one like this, one was a short one, which seems a bit strange to me because these come in pairs. So if anyone's got any idea why, and as you can see this is like a 308 part number, so these were the same as 308s, same as that one. So we are trying to work out that mystery. Anyone's got any ideas on that one, let me know. Everything else is all done, it's all refurbished, and all new bits. So really this is the only anomaly that I would like to try and figure out. Alright, next job, lighting. Covered some of this before and I've already made some nice progress on it, but we're going to do a little production here. Chain, me, Owen, finished product, wrapped up, cleaned up, ready to go back on the car when everything else is in place. So we have talked about these. We have got these front lights already. I'm working on those in the background. We might get these done today. The main thing I want to do is start stripping all of these. We're going to spray up all of the back bits here, make it look great again, look like new. Strip these all back, strip all this back. This whole box is a clean-up box. We're going to do all of that today. And the other thing that I really want to do, clean these mirrors up. These are, I keep saying it, everything on this car is super expensive, super rare, and and that includes these mirrors. As you can see, they've got a little bit tarnished. Sat outside for all those years and probably sat in the body shop for the last 2 years has not helped. The main thing though with these mirrors, which is a little bit of a problem, is this side, the right side mirror, as you can see, has got a smashed lens. And now we've got a blue tint to this lens, and typically I cannot get that lens from Ferrari. If anyone's got any suggestions on that, where I can get it, it's a simple bit of glass. I've got all the backing bit here, so all I need maybe is the template of this and a kind of blue tinge mirror. Anyone knows anyone who can reproduce one of those for me, let me know, because I can't get it from Ferrari.
Look at this, guys. 36 stamped into there again. That's amazing. 36 on this car, absolutely everywhere.
Yet again, more 36 discoveries. This 36 here is on the trim piece that goes here in the door aperture. And again, completely hidden under the paint. This is the other side over here, as you can see. Nothing at all. You can't discover these things until you restore a Ferrari 40 years after it was built.
Check this out, guys. Who would have thought that that rusty old horn could, with a bit of elbow grease, be transformed to look like new again? So we're going to wrap this one up and put it in the pile of bits that are done, ready to go on the car.
Next job on the lights is, well, we're going the extra mile with the whole of this build. This is all the fixture for the actual lamps themselves. And again, you don't see this in the car. There's a chance when the pop-up lights are down, you might just see the back of these. But we're going to clean all these up. As you can see, we've got a little bit of surface rust here, nothing major, but we're going to strip it all back which is not easy. I've got to strip all of this off. We're going to clean up all the spring here, make sure that's all shiny. O is then going to take all of this surface rust off, and then we're going to get these painted or powder coated.
And just like that, with a bit of elbow grease, it's all done and ready to be put back together. It's come out absolutely amazing. So we've got the bezels there, all of this, we've just given that a little wipe over. These have all been completely transformed. They look like new again, as have these. I was really happy how that chrome has come up looking like new. So I'm just going to put all that back together. We're going to wrap it up and we're going to put it in the boxes ready to be assembled on the car. We're almost ready to put these iconic front lights back together. In the previous video you saw me removing these orange lenses, which was rather scary. These things are super rare but also extremely expensive, like any other part on this BBi. Anyway, I've successfully managed to get them apart. We've cleaned them all up. We've also sprayed up all the inside of these lights as well as the exterior. I'm just going to give them one more wipe over as well, and then we're going to seal them up. We've also had little things like this, just the bulb holder replated, so it's going to start to look like this. This one I've glued back together, this one's just setting, and as you can see, it looks fantastic. There's one more little thing that I need to do on these that Ferrari do. So what they do is this little bit here, they seem to colour code to the body. So when you look through it like that, as you can see there, you can actually see my arm through the bottom of it, and that sits on a little kind of ledge in the front clam. So this really needs to be body coloured. So we're going to make sure this all gets painted up to match the rest of the car. So I'm going to seal this one up together. So I'm using this clear sealant that someone's recommended for it. I'm just going to put bead all around the outside in this channel, and then seal it all together. And there you go, nice sealed unit. Now the problem before was it wasn't sealed all the way through, so eventually over time just gunk got inside it, and that's why we saw it all just congealed in the corners. So really happy with that. I'm going to let that all dry, just do a little bit of extra work around the edges just to make sure it's all sealed, and then first job done. Finishing touches, we've just had the underside of the orange lens there, body coloured with the correct white, and now that is finished, going to get wrapped up and it's ready to go back on the car when it's painted. Super happy with the progress today, guys. The lights are looking fantastic. Last little job, wrap these up, we're going to put them away, and they're all protected, ready to go on the car. When the body shop do their next little bit, they need to block it, prime it, paint it. So we're really just trying to keep this momentum going on this build, so it's all ready to go back on the car when the car is painted. One last thing I do need to ask you guys for a bit of advice on. I know I've asked quite a lot in this video. These mirrors, I mentioned them earlier, super expensive, and well, we had a quick go at them, but I don't know if you can see that on camera, they haven't come out too well. Now this is just straight black plastic, it's not sprayed. If anyone's got any suggestions as to how we can get this right back, there's various mad things like heating it up with a heat gun, but like I say, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll give it a go. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you all very shortly in the next one. In the meantime,
check out what I get up to over on my socials. Stay safe. Ciao for now.